Good evening, Free Enterprise fans. On behalf of the tournament Scala Kitty, the workshop of the Free Enterprise team, the Free Enterprise Discord, and of course for all the fans out there, thank you all for coming out. It is the end of the road for the third time. We are here in the grand finals of the highway to the Threemus zone. We started this ride with 115 runners back on August the 3rd. First race was at midnight. We started moving through group stages, cutting down to 32 runners. Those 32 cut down to 16, and then after 3 weeks of brackets, we're here now. The final two. The end. Some of the hypest races that we've had all season. I'm going to have at least 3 more. On your left, former champion of the World Series of Free Enterprise, looking to add a second title to his mantle and become the first two-time winner of a Free Enterprise event. dustygriff, who had beaten Invenerable 2-1 in the round of 16, dusted off Eisentayama 2-0 in the round of 8 in probably his most comfortable match, and beat X-Pancras in Game 3 that you should have watched. I hope you watched it, because I'm about to spoil it for you, by 10 seconds to scrape into the finals here. On the right is the man who has been here for a long time as well, has had a lot of top 8s and 16s, but has generally fallen short of the final line. Fleury14, though, finally living up to the hype and making it to the big show here. 2-1 win against PK, and another tight Game 3 there, dusting off Stone Dingley 2-0 in the round of 8. Again, probably his most comfortable matchup. And taking down Dia from a 1-0 deficit to win 2-1 to make it to the finals. Of course, calling the race here, I am Demerine2. I am joined tonight by BadKarma. We've got 3.5 minutes. How's it going tonight?
I am ecstatic to be here. Thank you, Demerine. We also have our Restreamer, LQFleury14, and our tracker, Asalba. We also have a guest seed roller tonight in Calamity, who has provided the seed for us. So we don't get the usual Auska rudeness, but who knows? Maybe Calamity will bring something nice for these runners to get going on these finals.
I know, it's already looking real interesting. 2 moon bosses on deck and a Sura spot. It's gonna be a rough one, it looks like.
I highly doubt we will be seeing some low-level strats with this unless we get some very cheesy bosses. You know, all 3 of these spots are not going to play well with 1200 HP strats, which both of these runners have been known to employ when the time comes. And with a Cecil start and Permajoin on, they've got to keep that Cecil the whole way.
Yeah, one of the big flags that we've had for the entirety of this tournament that seems to have been a real interesting challenge for our runners, of course, is vanilla agility. If our runners don't find a second Cecil, they are going to be connected to Cecil's agility, just like this was the vanilla game. Agility stability is a big thing in Free Enterprise, and not having that could mean that a very difficult boss at the Murasame altar could really stonewall our runners here. I mean, at least for the moon bosses, Crystal Sword altar. The Crystal Sword altar is one of the easier bosses overall. Murasame altar is definitely up there, and of course, you know, taking on Asura early, especially if like Asura is required and has our progress, could be real dangerous. So this could be real interesting.
Yeah, a number of root bosses at that Asura spot. We've already seen them in this tournament. Something that can benefit from the high speed that's there. As Demerine said, the Crystal Sword altar, not all that tough. It's got a lower HP amount because of it being the Wyvern spot. So lower magic, not really high hitting, but can be rude with a few certain bosses. And that Murasame altar, same thing. If you get something that a Rubicante can be kind of rude there. Number of things could be an alt gauntlet.
There's a lot of possibilities for a lot of fun out there. And so, again, our runners are going to have to find the levels necessary to take down those spots, which means that, likely securing grind early is going to be the game plan here. Since the Darkness Crystal is definitively required, it'll be real interesting to see. We'll see if Dusty sticks to his tried and true, let's clear out the Earth as long as we can plan, or if he's going to go and, shake loose of that pattern. We'll see what Fleury's got up his sleeve here, because he's known to route a little bit more erratically, a little bit more against the grain, and that's always really interesting to see.
Yeah, I've seen a number of the races for both of these runners. They have they're both very good. They have to be to get this far. We've had over 100 entrants in this tournament, and it'll be really interesting to see how these two, differ in their routing and how they tackle a lot of these situations. Fleury's very knowledgeable and with some very niche strategies. Whereas Dusty just, has a number of strategies that are just tried and true, and he really executes them really well.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Fleury had to pull off both 1200 HP and Edward strats to get the 2 wins against Dia in some very fast seeds. But it's likely that this will be a little bit more of a slog. But we shall see as we are about to take off here for Game 1 of the finals.
What are you hoping that these runners get for a start? We already have the Cecil. Do you have a preference? Would you like it to be really Jetty Demerine, or have them kind of work for it?
I mean, I think our runners want Tella. I would love to see the first character be Porum to go with Cecil, because you don't want to take Porum unless you have to. Also, I just like seeing Porum in general. Maybe give them like the tower key or something to start. Something a little bit off the beaten path. Oh, oh, that's not great.
And Valvalis given a Moon Veil. Oh my, this is not a start you want to see if you are a runner, but you absolutely want to see if you are watching this race.
I mean, having Valvalis off the table, at least, knowing that Valvalis is sitting behind the Baron Key is fantastic. You know you don't deal with it in the Moon spot, so you're not going to sit there and go, oh god, do I just have to take a Kane for safety here? Like, is that we're going to be required to take out a Murasame Alter Valvalis for Go mode? The Moon Veil is fantastic, though. The Moon Veil is possibly one of the biggest get-out-of-a-fight-free cards in Free Enterprise, because it does imbue the barrier status, gives you wall, and makes you immune to physical attack, so a real nasty hitter at the Asura spot could just be taken down by just dropping the Moon Veil and just holding down the A button for a little while.
Yep, and we have Divergence immediately. Dusty Griff is heading to Damsian. Fleury is checking out Baron, going to give us a look at this Baron character and first boss, and that's a blue robe.
Single blue robe, though, we absolutely know that that's Water Hag, so that's pretty fantastic. Second Cecil does give us agility, stability here. Dusty gives us a look at the Waterfall boss, and I believe I saw Pale Dim there, so one of the heavy hitters is kind of off the table here.
Yeah, that Water Hag being there is not where you want to see Water Hag. You definitely were hoping to see that on the Moon. So that's normally a 400 HP spot. Runners are not going to be happy seeing that there.
Big White Spear pickup to start, though, in the watery pass, so Kane is a high priority here. Speaking of high priority character, there's my Porum, there's my girl, there she is. Not what Fleury wanted, I'm sure, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? It's a white mage.
As Dusty's going to give us a peek at who this character at the top is, going to raise the hovercraft with the T-Pro flags on. A lot of runners have been coming and looting the watery pass, try to see what they can dig up. That White Spear would be really interesting if we can find a Kane. Second Yang over in Damsian, though.
Ooh, no power characters yet, really. Like, Cecil will be fine after ordeals, but weapons are hard to come by. Like, that White Spear is fantastic, that real rare drop that you get there, but we don't know if a Kane's in play. So we're going to see kind of what our runners decide to chase down. Fleury is going for the full loot of Watery Pass. It's going to go backdoor here for these chests. They're in the T-Pro, these are slightly better because this is an isolated area. There's no key item, and there's no character here. So that upgrades the value of the spot.
Yeah, and with that T-Pro, we're definitely not going to be seeing, what we were seeing in the group stages. We're going to be seeing more of these, J items probably getting, less and less pulled. We're not going to... Getting that White Spear is pretty lucky. It's probably going to be the best thing we might find for a while.
I mean, it might be the best thing we find in terms of weapons, period. There's also a Lilith Rod under the waterfall, so if we do find a Black Mage, +5 wisdom for free is still kind of nice.
And I like the Lilith Rod for a D-Machine grind. You got to tell you don't have to use the Psych spell. You can just use the Lilith Rod, get, some MP back, and be a lot faster than waiting for that Psych cast time.
If you have, 2 Paladin Cecils and a White Mage or something, you've got, 3 mana batteries that you could just reload off of real quickly, just to kind of keep the grind going.
Yeah, I know. I had a seed recently. There was no ethers to be found in any shop, and I was having to use some mana batteries for that grind.
Dusty's on a pretty deep loot here on the front side of Watery Pass, finding a Flame Whip in the last chest. Super exciting, but it's a nice Rydia weapon if we end up finding Rydia and you end up taking her as your Black Mage, potentially.
Yeah, Rydia doesn't get, too much early on. She doesn't get her level 2 spells until she becomes an adult. So finding a good whip like that can actually make her pretty useful if we can find a heroine robe, which part of 4.1 lowered the tier that heroine robes can be in. So we have found those in these chests as we go through all this looting early on.
Fleury is still real into grabbing characters here, is checking the character here in Mount Ordeals. Since we have free characters on, you have a lot of options for characters. And oh, hi. A good character to see, but not who you want right now. He's going to reset out of the Bard.
Oh man, there was a Yang in the bed in Kaipo too. That's the third Yang.
Yang is great if you've got your grind secured, you've got a Tela on hand, but that's not what you want to see.
Flurry's going to give us 2 checks here and another Porum. And there's the Rydia you were talking about earlier.
I don't see a world where we don't take Rydia here. We probably ditch Porum for now. I don't know if we're super excited about having a white mage, but oh god, we need a character to carry us through the early game. It's not Dark Knight Cecil. Fleury passes both characters, so both of our runners still trying to get some footing in this seed about 5.5 minutes in, because there's been nothing really good. Speaking of good, there's the tool we need to probably get us through the early game. There's a Black Sword and a Dancing Dagger.
Yeah, Black Sword's best weapon for the Dark Knight Cecil. It does do an instant death attack. So if we run into, an Alt Gauntlet, Dark Imps, Baron Guards, Kaipo Guards, that Dark Sword will make short work of any of those bosses.
I mean, also, it actually makes Cecil hit decently hard. It has good hit rate. It gives you a little bit of strength. It's got a little bit of everything. So, you could do a lot worse at this point. Fleury's going to check the Hobbs character on that, and it is... Well, there's
a Black Mage.
Yeah. On the other side, it looks like Dusty's added both mages to his party, so he's running the Porum Rydia, the pairing here. Going to grab a handful of exits as well with that Black Sword, so online. Fleury's going to reset out and grab characters here too, because probably... Not sure if he wants the Palom, but he's got to kind of make a decision on how he wants to fill his party out now.
I think Fleury's definitely wanting the Palom, and that's going to make Porum a lot more valuable, especially in this early game, getting that twin magic. I definitely like the Palom over the Rydia early on, just because of how early Palom gets those level 2 spells.
Yeah, twin magic hits pretty hard too, honestly. You could do some things like queue up a level 2 spell, let it run out all the way, and then hit twin with the white mage with your Porum, and then you get some real good magic output, which is how you kind of push through the early game. So we kind of got an early game plan here. For both of our runners, it looks like it's going to be pretty much backed up. Black Sword Flame Whip for Dusty, and Black Sword with Twin Magic for Fleury once he gets through Mount Hobbs.
Yeah, and I think Dusty will probably be happy to see that Palom on Hobbs as well, and probably will be taking him. We've been seeing a lot of mage-centric runs here during this tournament, especially with, no Fusuya, people wanting to get their grinds and slingshot these black mages into nuke levels. So I think Dusty will be wanting that Palom to help get through some of this later game.
Yeah, I mean, the tough thing is with no gear, it's just you've got to be real kind of on the ball here with it. It is Dark Knight Cecil here, so we're going to get some Dark Waves. We should be fine. We've got Cure 2s from our initial pack. We should only take about 70 a hit. Yeah. Cecil will need to Cure 2 some people just to keep them going. Wants to get the experience on Palom here for sure.
Yeah, and that's going to, while it's not that big of a fight, Dustygriff is heading down to Antlion first. That's going to make Dusty a little bit more stout against this Dark Knight Cecil when he goes up to Hobbs. Probably going to go up on the west side just to get rid of that free summon too.
Absolutely, it's looking real good here. This divergence is a little unsurprising. Fleury definitely playing a little bit more for the characters. Dusty trying to maybe make a push here, trying to kind of get some information on where he needs to go next here. Again, Dancing Dagger Rydia is kind of the game plan here. No, Fleury will have Dancing Dagger Palom to go with that Black Sword Cecil. Also 4 levels, which is kind of nice. Cure 2 and Ice 2, Fire 2, Lit 2 online now.
Yeah, and I believe both runners still have that Lilith Rod, so that Palom will really be wanting that as well.
Yeah, on the flip, there is a Poison Axe sitting in Antline Cave, so we do have some power gear for Cecil once he promotes. The Poison Axe is pretty good. It's not ideal, but... oh god, chat's gonna start laughing or something.
Oh my. You don't want to see... If you don't want to see it later, you definitely want to see it now.
We've only got 2 Star Veils to our name, and it's time to at least use up ones that we don't die here. But one of our characters is sure to die.
And this will actually be advantageous for Dusty as... oh no, Fleury didn't take the Rydia, so they both only have 3 characters.
Yeah, this is a pretty bad boss to see here. Like, I don't know... You know, like you already threw the Veil with Cecil, so you need Cecil to not die here on the 1 and 3, and then you need the Veil to hold up for a couple spell casts. This spot does not do much damage with its magic, though, so it's probably okay.
Yeah, and of the 3 characters that Dusty may want to go down, I probably would have preferred the Porum, but he'll have enough time to get Rydia back up to get this XP. Yeah, this antline spot, it only has about 1,000 HP, so... oh, was that life on Porum?
Minor mistarget, it looks like, yeah, but now I think you prioritize getting out of this fight, just having Cecil swing away. Fleury, of course, is going to run into this and maybe possibly hope for Cecil to die.
Yeah, Star Veil had already worn off on Cecil, so got it up in time for the Lit 3, though.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna go for the intentional kill on Cecil here. It's a little hard to do. And gonna Veil both twins. Gets 2 Veils down, so needed Cecil to swoon himself, which is a little hard.
Yeah, with the way the status effects work, you have a higher chance of getting a status effect to land if the ATB bar is full or close to full. And that was a Sand Ruby.
You want a Yang? No? No, I don't. Maybe?
Maybe if we can find a Tella, I wouldn't say no to a Yang. With the Darkness Crystal being the main item that we need, you know, both runners are definitely hoping to find a Tella to be able to do a D-Machine grind before doing those 2 moon bosses, and then be able to just walk down. Oh, and that's a self-summon.
That's virus level damage, basically casting virus plus cure 2 with every cast. As spells go, that one's pretty good as summons go. It's it's expensive for a reason. It's a powerhouse spell. You want a second one, there's a second one in the back. That's a bunch of money, I guess. But hey, that's amazing. Gotta be real happy with that now. So we got Twin Magic online for Fleury, and we will have, with some levels, we'll have Sylph online for Dusty, so that's gonna make things interesting. It's gonna stay interesting here.
Yeah, and Dusty's gonna be greeted with this Palom and this Dark Knight Cecil. Probably gonna easily get through this. You know, has 1 more level on his Porum. Oh no, wait, Porum was dead, so actually it's gonna be base level.
While Fleury on the other side hits that flare and absolutely destroys Golbez. Golbez is absolutely dead. He gets a Sand Ruby. Gonna probably pop next and keep on moving. Yeah, Dusty very happy to pick up another Black Mage here. So,
now, who's Dusty gonna get up? Is he gonna keep the Rydia to be an anchor? Nope.
Nah, Rydia needs levels. Gotta get that Sylph online. That's a lot of damage in the early mid game.
Yep, so we do have the Sylph glitch turned on, so as long as Rydia is not in the middle slot when she casts Sylph, the MP is just refunded. But she needs enough MP just to be able to cast it, so and at level 1 she does not.
Yep, Fleury gonna give a check to the Sand Ruby and to Kaipo here, so gonna see the Yang and wonder what he's done to deserve this. It's a bad seed. That's how this works.
And chat corrected me. I had mentioned, keeping Rudy around for an anchor. We have vanilla agility on, so it doesn't matter if she's low level.
Fleury grabbing one mute bell, one unicorn, just in case, I guess, if he's got to break berserk at some point. But yeah, that's not a lot of shopping here.
Yep, and with the Yang in the bed, and unless there's a Tella in the package character, we're probably not going to be seeing Kaipo again anytime soon.
Nope, and now our runners, of course, have settled into their kind of pattern play here. We've got the twins with Cecil for Fleury. We've got two black mages, a white mage, and Cecil for dustygriff here. So Dusty's going to be backing, Dusty's going to have a little bit more pushing power here for bosses for a bit because of twin magic, Palom black magic, and Sylph summon. So we'll kind of see how that plays out.
There's another Lilith Rod if he wants both Palom and Rydia to be having that extra wisdom.
Yeah, but our runners have come together here in Castle Football, though.
Fleury did purchase a Thunderclaw, maybe thinking, hey, Gang could be my only choice later on. There's only 3 of them. Kaipo guards fight that I mentioned earlier. Cecil will be able to make pretty short work of these if he can get the swoon off, and Fleury does.
Yep, and so Dusty's going to use Sylph to do the same thing here. Ultimately, though, the big thing here for Fleury is that Fleury did not life glitch the back enemy. I don't know if Dusty is either here, but they're both going to kill the rear guard for the extra experience, which will be good for keeping them moving forward in terms of progress.
Yeah, with 3 bosses on ordeals, your mage-centric party is going to be a little tough to get through there, depending on who you find. Hoping that it's at least one cheesable boss, and then another one that's got an elemental weakness that Palom can take out.
Yeah, well, Path the Underground's located. We got a magma key from these guards, so we are Objective 2 is available at this point. Probably not doable, but available. We could go there. We could see that it's Kainazo, I'm sure.
And it also means we're 1 item away from go mode.
The other interesting thing is we're going to see if our runners are keeping a spot for a second Cecil to set up anchoring. Fleury stops at Mysidia, takes a moment, and decides, maybe that's not for me just yet. I don't think he's quite ready to fill out his party. This could be a Dwarf Castle gamble. Edge is only locked to key item spots at this point, but Edge is still ridiculously powerful on these flags. Even if you can't buy Ninja Swords, you can only buy Long Swords, he's still real good. Maybe also possibly chasing a Cane for that White Spear as well, but we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, I like going underground as soon as you can get that magma. There's a key item check in the Fey March. A lot of good loot. You can see what the shops are going to give you in case there's something that can really power you up. I wouldn't also be surprised to see Dusty just head up ordeals because, as he's proven me wrong as I say it.
There's so much going on right now. Like, our runners are a little bit in lockstep. Fleury's got a hair of a lead here, doing a little bit of shopping as well. So trying to kind of keep up with things. Both the runners have seen about the same stuff this seed. Checked the same shops, done the same things. So, again, top runners, clinging to each other, step for step at this point, even with the differences in parties and differences in DPS output.
One thing to note, too, by taking the Dark Knight Cecil down in the underground, if they get a boss like Dark Imps down there, that Black Sword can start one-shotting those free bosses.
Yeah, there's some real oddball grind potential as well in Sylph Cave if you're feeling real spicy. Probably not recommended because a lot of those enemies there will absolutely dumpster you, but, things do happen.
There are reasons these 2 runners are in the finals and I didn't even enter. They definitely know things that I have not even thought of or dreamed of.
Oh, Fleury catches a big break here, finds the warrior chest. There's one encounter chest that's been randomized into this pool of chests. It's not just the one that's behind the floor 3 stairwell. So Fleury gets some free looting here for what is some higher quality boxes because we are now beyond a key item. We're underground. So we'll kind of see there was an archer bow. to start, but nothing else exciting at this point. No other box at all, even.
Yeah, this sparse 60 flag is really showing its head here in the Fey March.
Yeah, and even with the T-Pro again, the loot's just not that. It's not quite as spicy. Like, that Ice Brand's real exciting for your Cecil. Like, I love seeing Ice Brand for Cecil on these flags because, you know, it does good work. It's a good weapon. Like, it's not like super top tier, but it's about the best you're gonna find regularly.
Yeah, Ice Brand is typically, you know, Ice Brand, Blizzard Spear, Ochre Axe is the tier that I look for to, you know, really consider bringing a Cecil. You know, personally, yeah, it does great work against the Rubicante Elements fight. So, as Fleury is going to give us a look at this key item check.
Yeah, the underground freebie it's a box.
Is it Artella? Is it a Kane to use the White Spear? Or is it another Gang or a Porum?
Yep, shop notes here. The pub in Troya has our Star Veils. Fleury's located Ether 2s and seems a little interested in them selling off the Ninja Shirt and a couple of shields here to grab a handful.
Grab a stack of bombs as well. That could be useful if there's an early alt gauntlet.
Or if we need to set up our grind later on, if we do need to set up a D Machine or Mac Giant grind potentially.
There was the Curse Ring in the armor shop in the Fey March.
Always a good find if you need to settle your agility that way as well. There's a Dwarf Axe too, so, you know, if you want to minus 20 agility your Cecil, options abound. I think we also have a Dream Sword on hand if we haven't sold it, so lots of good stuff for our runners here.
Yeah, the Dwarf Axe not as important to, you know, for the back row glitch for Cecil. Cecil can use a bow and arrow, but if we find that Kane, Dwarf Axe is the only way without using, you know, a sneak glitch to get Kane back row glitched.
Oh, that doesn't look like good times. That looks like bad times.
That's not a free Fey March there. I would honestly be really tempted to go and check that Rubicante, see if it's Elements.
Elements is a little bit of a better fight, honestly, but, like, Mylan Z swings for just the fences in the Asura spot. Like, the Asura spot doesn't hit as hard as the Leviathan spot, but that's just, you know, that's like saying that, you know, a guy who hits 35 home runs in a season is just not as good as the guy who hits 50. Like, it's not pretty either way.
Yeah, and I believe the Asura spot is the fastest. I'm sorry, is the fastest spot in the game. So that's if that's Rubicante.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Elements, you know, do you consider cheesing it with your Moonveil potentially? Like, just maybe trying to pull off some quick reflect strats with one of your mages. Just drop the Moonveil on Palom and let Palom reflect Fire 2s or something. Like, is that where you want to spend that particular resource? I mean, it's you got to make that decision. You know, you got to decide, is that the stone wall that's going to get through you or not?
Being an objective, I would, like I said, I would definitely would have saved and checked it just to see what I had up against.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe Dusty will give us a look, but Fleury is gonna just do freebies here. Dusty is gonna look at the Leviathan boss here on the left side here, and that is that's Plague, so that's fine, just slow.
Dusty is also I've seen him be proficient in pulling off to where having Plague kill himself, so that could be on the table for him.
Sheila 1 half of Forge, and Dusty's going to give us a look, and we're going to see that we have... Oh, we do have the 4 elements there. Mylan Z pops up in Earth's head, so... You know, again, we've got that Moonveil. Is it time to cash out?
Nope, Dusty is heading out. But that's Dusty has the knowledge, though. Knows that there's a Plague down there and the elements. I would definitely rather see elements there than Ruby.
I mean, Ruby's not super terrible though. Like, again, the spellcasting in that spot is pretty mediocre. It's just that, you know, once the Ruby script gets deep enough and he starts doing the double swings, he could just, you know, absolutely maul your party. So, you know, 6-1.
And transitioning through to get to those glares is probably going to be a lot faster too, depending on whatever. We don't have a lot of agility manipulation now, so.
Yeah, and even mediocre spell power glares can just dumpster party members one at a time, so it could get real bad real fast. So yeah, Elements is probably the better fight to see there. So Fleury, of course, is going to pass up Bard and head on up to the top of the mountain, because yeah, it is Paladin time.
Yeah, it definitely wants to get this Paladin swinging a little bit harder with some of the gear. Has the Ice Brand, sold the Poison Axe, so wants to be have cover strats available to him in case he runs into something else.
Odin's off the board as well. Ogopogo drops off the board here at the top of the mountain, so goodbye to 50% of Fleury's hit points to start this fight. And we got a package Bard as well, as Dusty is just trying to get any sort of foothold that he can get here. That might be a little bit advantageous in terms of his, very high preparation here. Does not pay off at this point, though.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see Fleury check that later as well, though. He'll stop and see what that package character is. Both of them hoping for that Tella. With Food not a part of this tournament at all, Tella's going to be the only source of an early week to do a D-Machine grind.
Yeah, Fleury likely to pop a tent here after burning through most of his Twins MP, but Ogopogo gets double flared and is down. Dusty's going to add on his Legend Sword, and most likely is going to fly to the mountain here and go Paladin mode here.
Sheila's just telling him, here, use this sword. Just use it.
You can't tell Sheila that you have better swords. She'll be sad.
And a double noodle on the Ordeals Bridge.
How did all these sea monsters get all the way up here? It's like 600 feet off the ground. What the heck?
It's just a ravine underneath of them. They just gotta slither somehow.
But Leviathan is this giant, ocean monster. What in the world is going on? I'm so confused.
I don't even know how he got the wave up there, to be honest. That's what I'm confused about.
Speaking, though, this spot's magic output is, robust, to say the least here. You might want to throw up some walls, potentially, here, if you've got Star Veils like Dusty does. You gotta protect your party from getting killed here.
Yeah, and, and this is a pretty fast spot, even with the Black Sword on Cecil. It seemed like Leviathan is getting these Ice 2s out way faster than Fleury's able to keep up with them.
Dusty doesn't heal up, though. Is gonna immediately go into this Ogopogo fight, so as soon as waves go off, that'll be that for that. Unless the Sylph goes off first.
Did save, though, so...
The big thing with Sylph is that you'll get basically a full heal from it, but you'll get the Blaze counter, which does 25% of your health, so it's a little bumpy, but... Not the end of the world here. Fleury just trying to make some progress here. Does get a full raft of turns in between each. The spot is, while it gets the first turn, is notoriously slow and is going to drop the Sea Serpent here. So Serpent Mountain is over for Fleury.
Knazo in the changing room. Might as well complete the water mountain.
I mean, I still want Kanazo up on the moon.
I do too, but for meme's sake.
I mean, especially if we don't take a second Cecil and our agility is trash garbage. Paladin was already spotted out in the waterfall, sadly, Lord Goober, so we're not going to get triple Serpent here.
Maybe that's how they got the water up there. They said, "Hail them, hey, start sending it our way from that waterfall."
That's just physics.
Physics don't exist in Final Fantasy IV.
Luca key acquired at the top of the mountain here, so access to doors, access to some legs. So Fleury will get the information that it is elements down below indirectly here. Also, we have an Ice Brand sword. That's good times.
Yep, getting getting the information now. They are on par. Fleury doesn't know that the other Sparkle is a plague, though. But, you know, depending on how long until Fleury goes back, can also process of elimination that.
Here, at least start checking some bosses off here. I mean, it could still be Wyvern. He doesn't know it's not Wyvern, but hey.
Knows it's not. Was Fleury the one that checked Waterfall, or was that? I think that was Dusty actually that checked Waterfall.
Both runners checked Waterfall. Dusty showed us Odin at the Mist Cave that Fleury did not check. Dusty also showed us that we have a package bard, so not good times.
It's like the seed just says, here, have all the bards, have all the monks.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to run out of really brutal bosses to see up on the moon, so...
Yeah, and unfortunately dustygriff has that ready in the middle, so is not going to be able to take advantage of the self-glitch.
Yeah, Sylph will cost the normal 25 MP in the middle. It'll hit more. It'll be more accurate. I mean, it's you know, still gonna do work here. I mean, Sylph can't miss. Sylph has a fixed hit rate, but yeah, it's gonna have a bit of a time of it here.
It gets the free heal right after if he just waltzes right into the changing room.
Yeah. Going to get some back row glitching on this Cecil in case we need it for later, so that's going to be handy. I think also hung onto a Dragoon Gauntlet and a Diamond Helmet, so has some level of gear here too, which is nice, and can back row the entire party for safety.
Yeah, and this first fight's just the Water Hag, so Fleury about to have a choice. Is he going to take 2 Cecils or not?
Well, we shall see. Dusty, of course, gets his party. Again, having the extra target here and the extra damage dealer means that he's able to get through Leviathan pretty handily. Everything looking pretty alright right now for Dusty as well. He's lagging behind a little bit on Overworld because he does have extra Overworld knowledge that Fleury does not. So if Fleury goes and checks Mist Cave and Package, you know, he'll lose a little bit of ground back.
Making use of that 10 stack of bombs that Fleury bought earlier to get the guaranteed hit.
Yes, attempting to melee with your twins is a bad idea. They're really bad at it. They've spent their entire lives neck deep in books. They do not swing for the fences. Speaking of which, though, we do get a relatively free fight here in the Karate Man. We just need to wait 2 cycles, and on the second kick, Cecil will instantly kill the fight just by taking a melee attack. We do need to survive, though, because, oh god, Yang's a hitter here.
Dathis is putting his influence into the seed. This is the vanilla location for the karate fight.
Virus out for dustygriff, and the Crystal Closet. The Legend Sword Closet is all done with here. Rubicon gets blistered here at 3145. Luca key in hand. Fleury gets another overworld item. Oh man. Oh man. That's a harp.
Oh yes.
The favorite item of so many viewers. The least favorite item of so many runners. We've got a Luca key. Maybe we go and do some doors and ignore the Twin Harp forever because we only have 1 physical hitter and it's Cecil at level 20. Right? That's the play, right?
That's the play I would do, just to give it to the runners. I'm a terrible liar sometimes. I think we have plenty of other checks, although in terms of power, Harp is the next logical choice unless you feel like you can get through Dwarf Castle to get a really big boost to your XP. But yeah, it's not with the options we have. We don't have some great ones unless, you know, as Chad pointed out earlier, could go pick a door.
Yeah, Fleury's going to do these 2 checks here. Finds Odin, is going to find Edward and just laugh and move on with his life. Dusty's going to get greeted by 2 free bosses here, so he's going to clean up Baron in now. While we're retracing a little bit again, thank you to Asuka424 for handling our restream, and Isalda for handling our tracking. Calamity was the seed roller tonight, so there's some special sauce in the seed from Scala and Calm, so that should be a lot of fun. Part of why a lot of why the harp is being cheered for right now. So we'll see if that comes to pass.
Yep, and also thank you, Demerine, for commentating with me. And if you haven't done so, please give our runners a follow. They've been putting on an excellent race for us so far.
It looks like Fleury's going to take his time catching up on shopping that was undone earlier, so we'll see if Dusty can pick up a little bit of ground here. It's going to be Tier 2s and probably a small stack of Thor Rages here just in case of Sin Turtle.
Hey, that Rude Kanazo can show up anywhere.
Yeah, and that Rude Kanazo, when he shows up, he's usually ready to party.
Yeah, we are running out of character checks. We have 2 characters in Zot, one in the Dwarf Castle, and one on the Moon, and in the Giant, which I doubt we're going to see the Giant character.
We also have a character sitting in Baron Castle at the back. That's real unlikely, though, at this point as well, unless we see the Baron Key pretty soon. Yeah, Dwarf Castle for a character seems like a good play. Like, doing Harp is a fine play here. It's just, like, getting out in front. Just the big thing with runners that are running at this level, right, when you think about, like, running at the top tier, is you're very decisive, right? Fleury needed... This is Fleury taking a moment to probably figure out what his next option is, right? He's going to go, clean up some shopping, make sure he's got some resources, you know, and now is the time to go ahead and say, all right, now I know what I want to do. It is Twin Harp.
This is the Harp check.
Right, so he loops in his shopping and then goes, hey, I'm in Terraria, let's go up. So he's going to do Harp, and we'll see what Dusty's going to do here. He does not have any shopping to do, so he's just got to, you know, he's going to pick a spot, and he is also flying due west, but he's turning around to the south. This is looking like a Dwarf Castle play.
Yeah, both checks are perfectly fine to do. I actually rolled a seed recently, and this was the exact choice that you had to make, was go to Twin Harp or go to Dwarf Castle. And I shared the seed with Dusty. That's the reason I'm talking about it. He went to Harp, and I went to Dwarf Castle, and his time was very much better than mine. Not saying that's going to work out every time, but this is a tough call to make.
I mean, I think with the open character spot here, right, Dusty is potentially gambling on not... Like, Dusty's party's full, right? Like, only has one spot left, maybe looking for a Tello to make things a lot easier, maybe looking for the Darkness Crystal, but is prioritizing this one extra character check here. Fleury's been running real thin on characters the entire time. That's kind of been his MO. He's only on 3 characters right now. The twins are pretty useless in this fight, so it's going to be the all Cecil all day and all night show here against whatever boss is behind the Dark Elf.
Got an antlion for the first boss here, though, and this is a pretty punchy spot, though, so not entirely free, but with all the magic we have, we're not going to get very many counters.
I mean, speaking of which, it's time for us to counter with being a little bit quiet, as Edward's going to give us a show for our first Harp of the finals. I think we're going to have to rename him Shredward after this.
Yeah, that is a fantastic tune.
Yeah, it's, as Fleury did show us, it is the theme of Corneria from the original Star Fox, and again, absolutely shreds. But Bahamut's about as free as it gets down here, to throw up 3-star Veils and probably take some hacks with Cecil to finish off the job. Dusty working through this antlion, hitting very hard on these back row characters. We're real armor light. Cecil covering Rydia, though, so we can just spam Sylph at antlion, which makes me very happy.
Yep, and that Bahamut is been made short work of. And Porum learned exit just in time. Just a Ninja Star, though.
25,000 gold pieces behind the Dark Elf. But Fleury is the People's Champion now, at least.
It was worth it for chat to hear the music.
I guess Fleury is going to head on under now, maybe, but, you know, got to be feeling a little bit. It's a good play. You know, you got to make a decision. He made a very good in-route decision, so very respectable play. Certainly just didn't pay off, as sometimes doesn't. Dusty is, again, 800 point Sylph casts at a time trying to get through this Antlion. So making good time here. Also, heads up play here with selling that ninja star to turn that into another load of Star Veils because he is out. So making sure he's got resources for going on further, which is good.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Dusty is still working through on this Antlion, who is constantly punching him down, but should be wrapping up here shortly. This spot only has about 8,000 health, and Sylph is hitting for 1,000.
Yeah, with Palom dead, though, wasn't able to chip in viruses as well, so, you know, didn't go super, super fast here.
Yeah, you really would have liked for Palom to have gotten that to get closer to that Quake to be able to maybe tackle the tower shortly after this, but instead, gonna have to get the res up. Oh, and hello, Mom Bomb.
And more importantly, hello, Edward! It's time, right? We're taking Edward. No, we're not.
It is not time to take Edward, I don't think.
Edward's like, even after that rock and harp solo, and Dusty goes, what rock and harp solo?
So 3 Edwards, 3 Youngs, 2 Porums.
Like, is this reject percent all over again? Like, are we back? Are we going back to the World Series of Free Enterprise? Garbage characters for everybody the seed?
Yeah, where, his Rydia is the one to go. Hopefully Dusty can get his party back up here, because having to redo that Antlion would really, really hurt him.
Yeah, this Mom Bomb is, even though it's, like, this spot only has a couple of thousand hit points, but, you know, you get the extra 10k that you've got to work, that either you work through or you get the explode, and oh boy, Dusty is getting just tagged left, right, and center. Even in the back row, our casters just don't have any armor. Like, that's the big thing about these flags is, armor is more or less non-existent.
Yeah, especially for the mages. Even in the shops, I know on table flags I've done, it has been almost, you know, a chore just to find mage armor. And proven here that it's not in the chest, it's not in the shops.
Like, I'm super excited to see, like, wizard shirts in shops on these flags just because it's something for the mages. Like, the mages need something.
Yep, and gonna get the Stardust off. Unfortunately, not sure if Dusty will be able to get Palom up to get this XP.
It's not relevant because we're through the fight, and that's what matters most here. Can't really be too choosy here because those bombs will melee you to death real fast.
Where will the Dwarf Castle send us?
We shall see in a moment as we have to go through this cutscene. Fleury takes down the Antlion with aplomb. It's gonna need to ether his Palom, but he's got a handful of ether too, so he should be fine with reloading. Looks at the bard and goes, "Man, that was a rock and harp solo, but I really don't need you."
And what priceless artifact are we taking from Luca? Just a gold apple.
The possibility of easy bosses getting thinner and thinner here. Oh boy. Keyless Tower, Luca Key. Dusty's like, man, no, give me the underground. Give me that plague. Give me those elements.
Yeah, Dusty has Star Veils, could easily cheese the plague. Could maybe take a swipe at that elements. That could be a little harder, because that Mylon will still hit hard and doesn't have quite a lot of gear for that Cecil. Yeah, I think mostly diamond gear.
Yeah, on the flip though, Fleury is channeling a Quake here with Cecil covering Palom. Cecil also covering Forum, and these bombs aren't hitting that hard, thankfully, but the Quake's going to go off and is going to do what the Stardust did for Dusty, which is deliver us unto a cleared out bomb and a whole lot of nothing from the Dwarf Castle as well.
And let's see where Dusty will tackle first, the plague or the elements fight. The elements is an objective.
It's just plague is just the fight you want to see down here. You know, your complete lack of armor doesn't matter. Did you buy life potions because you're gonna need a few? But like other than that, you can just zerk up Cecil and Cecil can go to town. Or you could go for Star Veil strats to try and reflect the count, which would be even more swag.
Yeah, I didn't see any manipulation for Dusty. Just throwing a curse string on. This could be that Moonveil that Zoe was saying in chat.
I mean, if there is a place to cash it out, like, this is it, right? You know that you're going to be able to grind afterwards because you have Moon Access once you have the Darkness Crystal. So grinding is not necessarily the issue, right? We're going to grind. That's not the problem for the Moon bosses, right? The thing is, we need to get through this fight right here, right now.
Yeah, and Dusty's trying to work to get his party down into critical health. As the Moonveil on Cecil.
The big thing is that, that Ice Brand's going to do nearly no damage. The big other thing is you absolutely do not want to transition out of this phase, so you're going to want to keep good track of your damage as you go through it. Also looking to maybe set up a sling on Rydia here by, killing her off, so we'll see how this plays out.
Fleury, meanwhile, is doing some keyless tower play.
I always love Divergence. Divergence is exciting. Divergence is what makes this game what it is. Again, maybe he doesn't feel like going down and doing really slow bosses in the underground just yet, or is gambling because he did draw that blank at the Harp and that blank at Dwarf Castle. So.
Yeah, I'm just hoping for something rude at the top of this tower. I mean, depending on, the more rude we have here, the less rude we're going to have on the moon, because we've had a pretty rude Earth so far, I feel like, with that antline in that spot. The Mom Bomb's already off the table. We're not going to see a Water Hag.
There's Baigen.
Oh.
I mean, that's not so bad with Quake, honestly. It's not the best, but this spot's just healthy, and having the health split up a little bit helps a lot. And we know that Evil Wall is Golbez, so we know it's at the top of Tower of Zot now. Or excuse me, that's
Babel.
No, that's Babel. Excuse me. I have got everything upside down and backwards. Excuse me.
Yeah. The Quake is going to make short work of the arms here to hopefully keep some of the extra punchiness down. But it's still pretty fast, and there's a lot of health here.
Yep, gonna set up the cover here just to make sure that everything will go A-okay with Blink on Cecil, just to make sure.
Yep, gonna be seeing similar strats for two different fights here. Cecil covering the kids while they're in critical health, while Magic gets thrown out.
Yep, You know, so yeah, Dusty's got this fight settled down now, so is fine. Gonna keep reflecting these viruses off, just to kind of keep on doing some damage. And the last one is necessary here and now, and so Dusty is through the first required spot of the game. Queen of Town of Monsters is down.
At 48 minutes in, and we have objective number 2 complete. Oh,
Always do what's required.
do your objectives.
Do your objectives. Dusty's got to make a call. Baby's going to check the moon character for a 5th here. But Dusty's in the driver's seat now. Darkness Crystal in his back pocket, and he is out of here. Not going to do Plague, not going to do Harp, I don't know what he's going to do at this point. Is he going to raise the whale? Nah.
Yeah, definitely raising the whale. Fleury has an Ogre Axe, so there is one somewhere. I don't know where Fleury grabbed it, if it was in a shop or in a chest.
Dwarf Castle shop, purchased.
Ooh. Could, if there's no Tella, Mac Giant grind. Take a Yang.
Take a Yang. I mean, you can't. Dusty's already on 4, so Dusty doesn't have that luxury potentially. Like, he's going to be full 3 mages here. I mean, Tella on the moon basically puts Dusty in extremely good shape to just to take this race down. Like, the D-Machine grind is efficient. He's good at it. I mean, you know, you want to get to this point, you better be good at all your grind options. So, like, Mac Giants are doable. He did have to give up his Veil, but that's okay. You kind of make it work.
Yeah, and, you know, you can get your blinks up before, you know, getting things, and if you can efficiently kill those Mac Giants, you know, you can get blinks back up in time to keep the party from taking any damage.
But yeah, this is a big moment in the seed here for Dusty. Character on the dais.
And it's another white mage.
Let's see, is Dusty going to round out his party with one more holy healer? We shall see. Fleury gets a crystal armor at the top of the tower, which is not really great.
And resets out of that.
Dusty's like, give me a 4th mage, please. That's rad. I'm into this. Fleury on 3 straight blanks right now.
Yeah, Dusty's checking the shop. Probably looking for... I don't know what he's looking for, honestly.
I mean, Cure 3 potions, maybe? I'm not sure.
Have we seen silk webs?
We've not seen silk webs. Which, with bad agility, can be very helpful, but you've got 2 slowcasters. It'll be fine. Fleury is now going into Luca Cave, so continuing to kind of dodge the required spot that we know is the play. Dusty, let's see what Dusty's game plan is right now, because he's got a full party. He doesn't have an Ogre Axe, so he's a little, like, he's got to be feeling a little bit in terms of levels and how he wants to get his experience. I'm really hoping he grinds doors. I will be so hyped if it's door time.
It doesn't have 10 key items. I know that's usually the preference for a door grind.
Come on, Dusty. Just do it for me. Do it for the fans. Everyone loves seeing doors. Dusty remembering that life pods were here. Maybe you're going to stock up a little bit. We'll see. It does not need that white spear anymore either. So that's an infinite pile of money. With no Dragoon to be found.
Ethers, it looks like.
Ethers and life pots does kind of scream I'm going up to do Mac Giants. You know, do them with, get your pal on a few levels early and then do Ice 3s, or just do viruses and reload with Ethers.
heading outside of Baron. So we do have the can't run flag on. So what Dusty is doing is he is setting up a manipulation to guarantee that his next fight will be a Mac Giant fight, as Fleury finds the Earth Crystal.
So he finds a not blank. He finds a path forward that does not take him through the Queen of Son of Monsters, and Kainazu is down here. This could be not very good because the spot is incredibly fast. Yeah, he can't do this right now on 3 party members. He bails out.
Yeah, he does have the save at the top. He's trying to decide if he wants to go through with this.
Yeah, he's gonna equip that cursed ring. It looks like he is gonna go through with this. So setting up for the play here on this this very hard boss in this spot. It looks like we've got dustygriff over here. Does have some Thor Rage, is going to cash them out real quick here, just to kind of force his way through the enemies here. So Fleury still... This is not the end for Fleury here, right? The big thing is that Fleury could take this Earth Crystal, could go up Zot, could find a Tella, could find an Adamant. Right? And that's... Like, that saves the day. Right? That makes this all worth it. Because you now have a faster grind, you have a safer grind, you have your choice of bosses on the moon. Right? This would make this work. But he's got to make this work this try.
Yeah, he can't be spending too much time on this fight. He's also sitting at 7 key items right now. Darkness Crystal is 8. If he ends up going up Zot, that could be potentially 9. Depending on what Zot gives him, could get to 10, which would make his grind, even if he had to do Mac Giants, would be so much faster than what dustygriff's going to do.
He gets bad timing on the first Thor Rage here, so the water goes up, and this could be disastrous right now. We'll see if the wave still goes off. Because if the wave is queued up in the system before you hit the lightning, you still get waved, just like this.
Yep.
Party gets demolished, and there's a reset.
He's going to go try again. Meanwhile, dustygriff has his manipulation complete and is heading into the giant.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that we need a ton of Mac Giants right now because just our levels are low and we're slinging Iridia at this point. So, getting like 500,000 experience is going to take a little bit of time here.
Is the Iridia in slingshot range? I'm not sure because she's been alive for that Antlion, the Mom Bomb, and the Elements.
Already was the Paladin that's been dead, right? Trying to get a quick look here. 23, 23, 26 I saw in the top 3. I didn't see the bottom 2.
Yeah, Rosa's base level. He just got Rosa from the moon.
And I think Paladin's above 18 at 392 health, so yeah, probably just a Rosa sling here.
Yep. Gets it on the first floor, though. Doesn't have to go too deep into the giant. Cecil's going to be rocking the Poison Axe.
Wants to kill off a couple of the enemy player characters that are just not going to be as useful. Like, Rosa's not going to be great in this fight, so just off Rosa just so she don't have to worry about her turns, and then, then start the cycle.
Yep, Poison Axe does get the bonus against the Giants, so didn't need to have to make a quick trip to Dwarf Castle to get the Ogre X. The only disadvantage compared to the Ogre X, Cecil doesn't get to equip a shield, so... But looks like Dusty's just planning to make sure Blink is up.
Absolutely. Fleury, of course, catches a wave again here. Just the timing on that's just too tight at this point. Even at battle speed 3, he's just having a hard time timing things, and this might just ship him out of the sealed cave here and possibly send him on elsewhere. Fleury's going in for a 4th bite of the apple here. Going to take one more crack at this point, so we'll see how this plays out.
I believe. I mean, most of Fleury's attempts have really just been trying to get the timing with the agility manipulation and battle speed 3. You know, it's possible he gets this knocked out. It's just going to take getting a feel for it.
Yeah, this is an extremely difficult fight, and again, like, this is really showing it. Yeah, the Earth Crystal might have been like the worst thing to see here in terms of what you want.
Yeah, looks like he's got the wave covered there. He's got Cecil putting a cover on Palom.
Yeah, doing all the necessary setup here, just trying to queue up these Thor Rages in time. This one looks like it's on good time here. It's before Gathering the Water pops up, so absolutely no chance that an ability is going to be queued up. He's got Palom channeling Quake here, so Palom's going to be our damage outputter.
Cecil is also rocking an Ice Brand, so when that water comes down, we'll be able to do extra damage.
Hey, the problem is he's got a curse strength, the minus 15 strength, so his hit is down too, so it's not great. And even getting it off early, the spot is so fast that it's irrelevant. Wave still comes out. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm surprised that wave still came out there.
I'm shocked too, honestly. There might be a thing with spells. Coffee and Jumbo was mentioning that Quake being queued might be throwing off the Thor Rage there. But yeah, that was rough. And so now he's going to go head on straight down to the Land of Summon Monsters, which is, of course, we know the right play.
Yeah, he will be happy to see this Darkness Crystal. Will probably queue up his own Mac Giant Grind. Won't have the Rydia that Dusty has to help knock these down, but Cecil with an Ogre Axe can do some good work. It'll be interesting to see who Fleury takes as the 5th, if he goes to the moon or maybe takes a Yang.
Yeah, the big thing for Fleury is just going to need to keep himself together here, because it's real easy to kind of tilt off when you have something go terribly wrong like that in terms of just getting drilled by Kainazo. So he's just got to kind of focus and pull it back together, and he's a good enough runner that he'll be able to do that.
Now, the question is, does Fleury do Plague first?
Absolutely not. So looks like he's going straight to Elements.
Well, Fleury doesn't know that it's Plague. Probably gonna throw this Moonveil up. And as we are watching Dusty work on this grind and Fleury is working through this Elements fight, to point out in chat, this is only game 1 of these of the finals. This is a best of 5 series. We do have more matches scheduled between these two, at least up to games 2 and 3. Next one being Friday, and the one after that being Sunday.
Absolutely, but right now we're still here in game 1. We've got the slowdown on Elements now, so we've got Fleury just trying to set up for the kill here. Has up the also popped the Veil, so is safe and sound with Cecil covering the 2 mages.
Yeah, unfortunately, it has the curse on Palom that's going to lower his damage a little bit. Not much though. Quad 6s, anybody?
Wait, don't you mean quad 9s?
Oh, that was quad 6s.
What a weird quads. Yeah, Fire 2 striking the element's weakness for 4 times damage, so doing real good damage with a little bit of cast time. But Fleury's going to get his Darkness Crystal, and he's got to make a choice on how he wants to play out the rest of this seed now that he is in go mode as well on an hour 3.
Yeah, and the Mac Giant grind takes quite a bit without the 10 key items, as I've completely lost track on how many Dusty's done. So it'll be interesting to see how Fleury finishes his party and if he goes the same route.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility for, like, you know, grinding chests on the moon. I mean, we don't have a real big hitter for doing, like, behemoths, which is kind of unfortunate. We don't have 10 key items yet. We're also sitting on the same 7 on both sides, so again, Fleury likely to make the check of the moon character, you know, maybe drop a save down here after summoning a whale and make a decision on a party after this. But yeah, this race has been, Fleury had the early lead, but it looks like Dusty is kind of taking it back off of Fleury's bit of troubles with the sea turtle down at the bottom of Sealed Cave and checking some blanks that Dusty very deftly bypassed. So we shall see how this continues to play out here in this game 1.
Yeah, it really comes down to both runners had the choice of going to check the harp or check Dwarf Castle, and Fleury got through Dwarf Castle. Felt like a lot faster than Dusty, and I don't know if that was just the harp XP that helped him with that, or you know, the 3 character setup. But yeah, it definitely seemed like, you know, Fleury has been able to, you know, catch up after losing that lead, but it came down to another divergence. Fleury checked the tower. Dusty Griff went and did elements.
Yeah, Fleury did get Quake on Palom beforehand, which did speed up those bosses some, but, you know, on the flip side of the coin, doing 2 more bosses and then, you know, taking some losses to a third that Dusty didn't even touch is a bit down. It's a bit of a downer, certainly. I mean, he doesn't know that, but I know from, you know, from the eye in the sky view here, watching what's going on, you know, it's kind of a bit of a downer.
Fleury's going to be greeted with this Rosa. Now, the question in chat that they've been, you know, thinking is, does he go and check who these bosses are? Ideally, you would like to just hit those bosses after a grind so that you can just walk on down to the Lunar Core, but a question in chat for Kimmel, it is permajoin, so once they choose to take somebody, they are in the party. Fleury passed on that Rosa, though. That is interesting. That is Fleury going maybe for Eddie, or?
I mean, if he's going for Eddie, he is absolutely gambling on one very specific thing. And that would be that there's no problems on the moon, right? That he can just dust off both moon bosses without a thought. There's a chance that he's going for a character that'll get a ton of health, so he can do 1200 strats. Or he's looking for a slingable character and he's just going to do Mac Giants. So he's looking over the lineup here.
Whole lot of the same choices.
Adds on Iridia here for a 4th character, and we are going to end up on the same parties in a greatly different manner here as Fleury fills out on mages here. One of every mage. We've got a Palom, we got a Porum, we got a Iridia, we got a Rosa, we got a Cecil. We are on our way.
Interesting. One of the few races I think we've had in this tournament where there is not a single duplicate.
Not a single duplicate, and both runners are on the same party at the end of the day.
Probably going to be setting up for a Mac Giant grind as well. Yep, equipping the Ogre Axe. Dusty seems to have his grind firmly in hand, though. That Cecil is protecting everybody, keeping blinks up.
Yeah, it's a very safe setup, right? Use Blink so that you don't take damage. Use only summon Mac Giants when your defenses are back in place. Iridia can cast Stop to take turns away from the Mac Giant here, so it's a very safe grind once you have all of the tech for it. And if you have like white mages, it can be very very safe setup. Again, cover is real good for this, so using Cecil to his fullest as well. This is a really stable grind, but again, it is slow. It is not a fast grind. Like there's a potential here that like you grind out Rosal like 1300 and do 1200 strats, but that's long, especially if you've been grinding. There's a lot of choices here that go into this grind, and so I find it interesting both are runners going for it.
Yeah, and I don't think you go and do this grind and just take it to 1200. I think you go the full distance, get white on Rosa, get nukes on Rydia and Palom, and just, power overwhelming that Zeromus fight.
Yeah, commit to a really long grind so that you are assured of not having problems on the moon with the 2 bosses up there.
And we've already seen Valvalis, who's sitting in the Baron Castle, so we know that we're not going to have, a really high magic defense fight, gating us.
Yeah, and of course Fleury knows that Kainazo's not there, so Fleury basically knows that the moon is pretty open at this point in time, most likely. Dusty's got to have a pretty good sense that the moon is open as well, so we should be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, Fleury has seen Baigen, has seen Evil Wall, has seen Kanazo. Not too many things left that's going to be a major roadblock on this moon. Groundfire, he needs all of them. All the giants.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is saying it's about 30, so 15 with life glitch. So you do need to go through a fair few of these here. Like 30 Mac Giants is a lot. I mean, Rosa will be, an absolute stalwart when this is done though with the double experience, which is pretty fantastic. So we'll be pretty happy with our levels for sure.
Yeah, and Dusty is making really short work of these with the stop and the virus from his palm and that ogre or that poison axe. That was a 3,000 damage hit, I think, from Cecil.
Yeah, I mean, quad 750 is a lot of damage, and virus is going out for 3k. I mean, 3-shotting Mac Giants is usually about the best you can ask for in terms of consistency. Yeah, as Fleury is just cashing out some items just to speed through the Manip fights here so that he can get up to the Mac Giant Manip as well.
I'm just trying to think. I know we were just saying there's not much that are probably gonna, roadblock this group, but what is there anything really that's just not gonna be more than a bump?
Murasame Wyvern maybe would be the only thing I could see that's really problematic at this point. I mean, with levels, because that's the one you can't survive. Crystal Sword Wyvern's just straight up it does not matter if you have Veils or not, because if you have levels, you just tank it. Val is off the table. Val is in Baron Castle, just kind of big chillin', gave us our opening Moon Veil. Kainazo is at Sealed Cave. Ogopogo off the table, hanging out on Noodle Mountain with Snake Bro Leviathan, so they're off the table as well. Orbs would be slow but doable. Like there's just not a lot there that could really stop up our parties here. Pale Dim, Dunzo, Antlion off the table. We've seen Golbez already. Trying to think if there's anything like maybe Magus Sisters is scary, but that's not even that scary.
Yeah, that's not going to be that big a deal with the Quake Kid and Rydia also having Quake.
All right, yeah, Dusty's putting the lockdown on the Searcher now so that we can not get counterattacked as we try to hammer through the balance of its health here. Because of course the counterattack is, the counterattack is summon a Mac Giant, which we don't want to do.
Chat's wanting Fleury to reset so we can get a mirror grind going.
I mean, Dusty's done grinding. Dusty's using stop to just lock this out and finish this fight. So, So Dusty's going to wrap his grind up just as Fleury starts up, so Fleury's got to get through a big pile of Mac Giants. We're going to see how Dusty handles the back end of this seed now that he's got a big old stack of levels, and Rosa is probably going to be at, like, level 1 trillion. Okay, well, maybe 60, but close to 1 trillion.
So with 2 altars left in front of Dusty, before he's most likely going to be the first one into the Threemus fight. Fleury working through his grind now.
Yeah, it needs a couple levels to get Nuke on the Black Mages here. Did not get it on either, but I think it was 1 short on Palom and a couple short on Rydia. Does have white on Rosa. Rosa gets 58 levels. Or, excuse me, it was 48 levels. It's like level 58 now. She is just real powerful here.
Yeah, Rosa's going to carry things. But both those altars are going to give a good chunk of XP too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Crystal Sword altar is good. Yeah, both altars are fine. Needs 2 levels in 1 should be doable. It does slow down the altar fights a little bit, but with Rosa White, as long as it's not, like, I guess Octomom is the only thing we're really worried about for Holy Absorption, should be pretty darn good. And if all else fails, if he needs, like, a little bit more, you can just toggle on random encounters and do, like, 1 random encounter.
Yeah, being in dungeon, it's not going to be an issue for Dusty. Looks like he's going to go pick the hairdryer chest.
Yeah, maybe thinking that the hairdryers are enough to fill out the Palom, so getting the Palom nuke, which is a good play. Like, the Palom nuke will make things so much faster than, like, anything else at this point.
Yep, there is a trap chest here in this lunar location that Dusty's about to go in that has 4 monsters that can be taken down pretty easily with this group.
Yep, straps on Cursed Ring and Drain Sword onto Cecil, so drops his agility by 20. So his game plan all along was, I really don't care about Cecil's agility, all I care about is just getting through this fight. Gonna need to drop a Quake here, probably, which will just wrap this fight real fast.
Yeah, not too worried about the hairdryers hitting him, even, 500 damage on Rydia.
We have, as they say, the levels.
Could Dusty be looking for a Crystal Sword?
Gets a ribbon, which is real good, like, just in case. Like, the level of safety that gives, and he gets white on Porum. Did not get Palom to nuke, but Porum's got white as well, so 2 white casters up and online now. So yeah, this is looking pretty good now. I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, ribbon is huge, especially for, just not just the added defense, but, you get something, could have D-Lunars, could avoid the frog that way.
It is the second best helmet for Zeroma's defense as well, behind the Tiara, so yeah, no, that's real good.
Dusty maybe trying a reaction, it looks like here.
Yeah, Dusty wants nuke first. He does get a reactionable fight here, too. So if you cast Lit 1 on a grenade, he's not even going to do that, he's going to cast Ice 3 because he's just overpowered attack. Like, he is just stacked at this point in time, so he's just like, I just channel a big spell, whatever. It's cool. We don't need to show off.
Chat's pointing out there are a couple of fights that could find that White will not take care of.
Yeah, cast Quake and quit, and grenades are immune to Quake there after you're flying, so he's going to cast the Lit 1 now and get the reaction kill.
Gets the nuke, though.
So full power online for Dusty now at 117. He's got the big spells. He's got the big health. He should be pretty much a player of his caliber is probably free rolling right to the end of the seed at this point in time, so it's just good times at this point for Dusty. Fleury lagging a little bit behind here, just trying to get through, does need to get through only like 9 Mac Giants here total to sling out the, because to get a full sling on Rydia and Rosa here, which is pretty good, but, does sort of, will really nullify Palom and Porum's development if he does that.
And we'll be getting our glimpse at this Murasame altar.
Wyvern, Wyvern, Wyvern.
Wyvern, Wyvern.
Man, I feel very disappointed all of a sudden.
That is not Wyvern.
That is one of the easiest bosses you can see. Or as you can see, these some of these level 2 spells are just straight whiffing. This is oh man, Dark Elf's about to have a really bad time, everybody. If if you're averse to bosses getting destroyed on stream, please avert your gaze. This is not going well for Dark Elf.
Not what you want to see as a person viewing, but definitely what you want to see as a runner.
Get the big quad 9s there from casting Holy. Doing that big damage here. Is going to go ahead and get to a Black Mage's turn here. That would be... Yep. That would be Palom. Going to cast Weak because the second form of Dark Elf doesn't have the boss bit. Go figure.
A question in chat for Kibble. It was the Corneria theme from the original Star Fox.
So Rydia with the virus on deck will just finish off the Dark Elf here straight away. Sweet dreams and good night, friend.
Is the Dark Elf really friends with darkness, you know?
Who can say?
Could have used those a little bit ago.
Doesn't really matter at this point in time. Down goes the Murasame altar. 2 down, 1 to go for Dusty, and he is headed due south to the Wyvern's altar here. Fleury is pushing through here. I think he's on like 7 or 8 at this point in time. I'm not doing a great job keeping track. I apologize. But he's gonna have to make the decision if he's gonna go full 4 casters or if he's just gonna take the double sling and then try and run it out that way. Feeling behind maybe from those wipes, so we'll see what he decides to do.
Also, the last I checked, we were paid to talk, not paid to count.
Look, you never do math live on Twitch. That's just bad times for everybody involved.
I don't do math, ever. Getting paid in memes, Zoe.
Yeah, no, we don't actually get paid. We do this out of the goodness of our hearts. We're all volunteers because we love this community and we want to see it thrive. Again, our Restreamed team is over 100 members and has put on an excellent show throughout the entirety of this tournament. Over 250 Restreams available on Randomania, Free Enterprise, RPG Limit Break, all ported out to YouTube for your viewing pleasure as well. But I would say keep it glued right here because we're going to see, we've seen a great race tonight. It's not quite over yet, so hang out, stay a while. It'll be good.
Could still be a very rude Zeromus fight. Bad things can always happen.
I mean, with Cecil's agility completely down by 20, it should be just fine. But again, things happen. Things can go wrong. Reflect strats go wrong. You get weird turn orders or just a big bang that just sweeps up party members, and you're sort of stuck in recovery mode while Fleury catches up. So not really over yet.
And there's the CPU.
Big, slow orbs for everybody here. Only needs to get through 20,000 health on the back orb, though. Like, the spot's not super healthy, at least. So you gotta kind of you're gonna pick off the healer orb in front. It's gonna take 2,000 damage, and then you're gonna just kind of go to town on the back.
Yeah, now the question will be, do we try to land a float on that attacker?
Oh yeah, no, we're doing it to it. You can see the reflect set up already, so now the float is being channeled by Porum. Basically what we're trying to do is if we can float the attacker, so float can't be cast directly on enemies, but if you reflect it and you reflect on the attacker, now that attacker is immune to Quake. The CPU has a wall, you can't cast Nuke on it, and reflected spells have a 50% chance of missing, but now we can just shake the heavens and the Earth will move.
and it usually takes me like 4 times to get it on that attacker.
Look, when you're good at free enterprise, you also get good RNG. It's part of the rules. Asking how much HP this spot has, roughly 25k. It's split up between the orbs and the CPU, so it's 21 grandish on the back, and then 2,000, a little bit over 2,000 each of the orbs.
And one thing to note, if you are running this, you can actually tell how much the spot is by the remedy that the Defender orb casts on the CPU. The remedy does 10% of the total health.
So yeah, I saw the first remedy. I'm actually making myself look a lot smarter than I actually am.
I wanted to share the knowledge with those who may not know.
You can't show them how we do the tricks here. you gotta leave the magical for everybody. If you really want to see behind the curtain, you should join the Discord, though. Right? That's where all the tech is. That's where everything is. Looks like Dusty's channeling the big swag here. Got the swag rocks going with Palom here. Gonna channel a Sylph for health, and then the rocks should do the deed.
Yeah, if you've been watching this race, think I'd be interested in running this. Do join our Discord. We love getting more people involved. We love getting more people running races with us. All the information is there to get you going, get you successful in running this. If you enjoyed Final Fantasy IV as when it first came out or just got into it recently, should definitely check it out.
Yep, Fleury's finished up his grind again, a little bit shy. Did go for the full sling on the 2 mages. Other mages are at like 46, so they're lagging way behind. Last item of the day for Dusty is a spoon, but more importantly, behind that spoon is our 3 objectives of the 4 complete. So we only needed 3. Give us a crystal in hand. Dusty is going to head on down and going to go and fight the final boss, the Big Z, the Threemus, the man, the myth, the reflection.
Out, guys. Too early.
It's never too early for Z flags. Break him out, friends. Get him out right now. Dusty's gonna menu, and Dusty's gonna save, and Dusty's gonna take his sweet time here.
Does Dusty swag walk all the way from the Crystal Sword save?
Oh man, the flags are out. Big Z. Z flags for everybody. Come on, BadKarma. It's the finals, and I know you haven't done this on the big stage. What does that mean for everybody? What's about to happen?
Well, we can't randomize where Threemus is, so instead, we randomize what he looks like. He's ugly in the original game, and sometimes he looks a little less ugly, sometimes he looks a little bit more ugly. But thanks to the wonderful Scala-Kitty, we have 460 different ways, and I believe she has a surprise in store for us tonight. So, in fact, all of us here in the community, we have absolutely no idea what's in store of whose butt are we going to kick tonight.
Rumor has it it's brand new butt at that.
We had new music, now we have a new butt.
Oh man, I'm so excited. This is the best part. Fleury is finishing up here, getting out of the giant as well. So he's got 2 bosses to go here, but barring disaster for dustygriff, Fleury's gonna need a miracle at this point. Gonna need a lot of help from Dusty here on Threemus.
I think a late wipe is really what Fleury needs. Like needs Dusty to get real close and something to go wrong.
Yeah, here we go. Reflect strats for everybody who's not initiated into the Threemus fight is one of the more primary methods of killing Threemus. One of the real interesting things about Threemus is that Threemus has the illusion of having more health than he really does. The health can only go up to 65,535 in Final Fantasy IV because, computer programming. Threemus really only has 61,000 health. The thing is that once you damage him down to 16,000 health, if you take a direct action against Threemus, he has a counterattack script that reloads his health to 61,000 and pushes him into the second phase of the fight. But if you are reflecting spells to do damage instead, you never see that counter script, and you only need to do 61,000 damage to finish the fight off. Which is, with this party at these levels, probably 8 or 9 spellcasts total reflected, so you're going to see kind of how many spells it's going to take Dusty to get through this, but here we go.
Crystal is thrown. The true face of evil is revealed.
Wait, Fleury's the true face of evil? I was unaware of this fact.
Well, to Dusty right now, Fleury is definitely the true face of evil.
Yeah, so it looks like Fleury14 is now part of the pool. You know, at least when the next patch goes through. But yeah, there he is in all of his glory, hanging out. He's the man. He made it. He's about to die. Counter nuke on Forum, taking 1600 damage. Oof. Yeah, again, this lack of gear is still hurting the party in terms of both damage output and damage input. If he has a Cure 3, he probably throws a Cure 3 with Cecil if Cecil gets a turn here to keep Forum going for more reflected spells. Fleury is going to cast Stop on Dark Elf instead to put the old lockdown on Dark Elf spells here, and then going to cycle around to Iridia, who definitely has weak to finish the job. So he's doing just fine.
Wanting to make sure his entire party gets the XP, probably, just to push those HP totals a little bit higher, even though everybody's got nuke, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely here. Forum swing for 18 finishes the job. Fleury is reflecting a white here. This does about 6,000 damage. Okay. So we're going to need, at 6,200 damage, we'll need 10 spells total to get through this.
And a lot of times the Reflect strats are trying to get that kill before the second Big Bang. Depends on if Dusty is feeling like he needs that safety nerf or not, or if he's just going to go for it.
Yeah, we shall certainly see. I mean, he might just go with Rosa's got 3,000 health, so, you know, I just need to keep her alive, and it probably doesn't matter, because she'll get, like, the last two casts in, potentially.
Fleury, meanwhile, is heading towards the Crystal Sword altar as Dusty Griff is slinging nukes, slinging whites.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter if they're not the highest damage reflected spells that we could really get. We're not seeing the big quad 9s or anything, because, you know, it's pretty irrelevant at this point in time. There is a safety cure 4 going out, though, so just gonna push through, gonna decide to push through here just in case, by healing up the party. Rose is not gonna get healed, but again, her health total is enough to take this Big Bang still at 2,200 health.
Yeah, and that Palom actually has the ribbon on, so will definitely make things a little easier for him to survive. A high roll is going to not be quite as high to, you know, knock him out.
Yeah, absolutely. Fleury is making his dash down to the Wyvern's altar here. Going to find orbs and going to have to take a little bit of time. This fight's not super fast. Probably not going to feel too good about that, but Dusty bouncing off more nukes. This one, probably looking for one in the 7,000 range potentially here. Would be nice at 6,500. So, you know, still on track for 10, so he knows he's going to take Big Bang too, and, you know, needs to kind of keep pushing from there.
Yeah, and with the Star Veil on that Rosa and her health pool, that was a pretty heads-up play of not throwing it. A lot of runners like to throw it on the top character because it's less inputs, but Dusty threw it on the healthier Rosa just in case it came to this point.
Yeah, and then you get a little bit of free time after for the black hole where you can reset, then you reset your wall and just make sure you kind of can finish the fight pretty cleanly with like 2 more casts. But here comes Big Bang 2. Rydia likely dead, Porm probably dead. Palom probably safe, but could get real high rolled here. Does not. So we've still got Palom, we've still got Rosa. Gotta be a little careful here because we're about to see Black Hole, which will wipe out the Veil. And of course, casting Nuke on your own party members, keeping in mind that your own party members have no magic defense against your own spells, is great if you're trying to kill off your own party members, but it's not a good time otherwise.
Yep, gets the Star Veil back up, waited for that Black Hole to come out just to make sure there was no missing wall shenanigans.
Yep, gonna pull up the Rydia here. The big thing is that Zeromus' next move is gonna be cast group virus, so we do need to be a little aware of that fact that we might not get these casts off, but yeah, reflects it off Palom here, another white coming out. This one for 5,700 damage, and of course we raised the Black Mage because Nuke is instant cast. Nuke has a 0 cast delay, so short of the ability was already queued up in front of you, your Nuke goes off instantly every time.
And there's the flash. The nuke stays on, and that is get your GGs in chat for Dusty Griff.
You didn't even tell them to get the GGs on chat. They're way ahead of you, friend. God, it's like these people have watched some races this season or something.
Yeah, with an official time of 1 hour, 33 minutes, 22 seconds, and we are joined in the booth by Dusty Griff. GG's.
GG's.
How you feeling about game one?
The stress level is starting to go down a little bit now. That's been a little bit since I finished. So, but yeah, there's a bit of a high tension one with really sloppy McGiant grind and some hard decision making there in the middle. But it worked out luckily.
Oh, come on, if that was a sloppy McGiant grind, I really want to see what a good one looks like. Cause
Yeah, I thought that was really clean.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, everything looked pretty well planned out there. I know we talked a little bit about kind of the Dwarf Castle and Harp coin flip there. You skipped Harp. What was on your mind when you were, busy deciding that Twin Harp was not the play today?
I still had that last open character slot at that point where I was hoping for, Tella or trying to figure out exactly what I was going to do for my end game. So I kind of just wanted the character check more than anything. And also, I was like, most of my damage is pretty magic forward here, so Dwarf Castle might not be the worst play, which it was not the worst, but it was, it didn't work out very well, but it also was like, I nearly wiped a mob bomb at the end there, and it was
things were looking really dicey on both of those fights, but yeah, Mom Bomb was just drilling down your party until you got the explosion and got two characters through it, but you had the Star Veil and the wherewithal to pop it instantly, so again, just sharp play is, all the way around there. It's tough to do, like, in the moment, certainly. So, you're able to kind of keep it together. You didn't have any actual wipes in the seed, which is kind of really what kind of pushed you through.
Yeah, that's what really I was hoping for, especially a wipe at the second boss spot in Dwarf never feels good, yeah, especially when the first fight was such a slog. So I 100% wouldn't have went back there had I wiped to the second spot, but no, luckily it worked out there and worked out for the rest of the seed where I didn't have any wipes. Like you're saying, it's if you don't wipe in a seed, you feel mostly good about your play. So I was pretty happy that it worked out that way.
Yeah, I mean, having the Darkness Crystal fall into your lap from doing required Asura spot couldn't have hurt the cause any either.
No, yeah, that felt pretty good. It felt a little bit like I could have done that sooner, considering the setup, but I wanted to leave it a little longer just to get my party in a good place for it, but place didn't really change all that much. It mostly just needed Pal with that virus and the cover with Cecil, and that's all I needed.
Yes, cover was just such a power ability this seed, certainly. It makes the McGiant grind go. It made the Asura fight. It made the fight against the Asura spot, the elements there go, so that you could just do a clean reflect kill. The funny thing is, Fleury was getting through the bosses a little bit faster than you. Maybe do you have kind of a mindset where you're going to watch this race back and kind of see what happened, just to sort of get a feel before your next race on Friday? What's your game plan for game 2?
Probably more of the same, but I will definitely watch it back. I've been in the middle of a lot of moving stuff lately, so I haven't been practicing as much as I'd like. So some of my play isn't probably as tight or as quick as I would normally like it to be. But definitely go watch this one back a bit and see what Fleury did. Kind of like, I don't know if it will change much of my pathing and that sort of thing, but I need to work on my execution a little bit tighter for the next one. But overall, I was okay with it. But I think if certain parts I play as sloppy as I did in this one in another match, Fleury's probably going to take advantage of that. And get a win. So we'll have to see what happens.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts at this point?
I just want to say thank you all for commentating this one. Thanks to the Restreamed team, and GG's to Fleury. Looking forward to that match too and the rest of the series.
I think we are all looking forward to that match too and the rest of the series.
Glad to hear. Thanks, folks.
Thank you, Dusty. GG's once again.
GG's.
That was the winner of Game 1, Dusty Griff, as Fleury is heading into his Aromas fight. Some of the more keen-eyed viewers at the start of the stream noticed that the checksum symbols were different for the two seeds.
I blame Scala.
I mean, isn't that the default? Blame
Well,
Scala, blame Baka.
I mean, it is Scala's fault. She's the one who puts the sprites in the seeds for when she puts in the sprites into the seeds by hand. So we're gonna see. Dusty's already in the game, as mentioned at the start of the tournament, at the start of the race tonight. Dusty's already a champion. Dusty won the World Series of Free Enterprise. So Dusty's already in the game. Are we gonna get second Dusty? Are we gonna get first Dusty? Are we gonna get a spoon hovering in midair to attack us? We shall see.
And all answers will be revealed shortly. I did not see what the first Dusty looked like, so I don't know if that's a new or an old one.
Just rolling it, just kicking it old school right there. It's so good.
It's a fantastic sprite.
Yeah, this is the Scala's letting us know this is the original Dusty. This is the prototype Dusty before Scala made the magic happen. But yeah, that's awesome.
And while Fleury is going through this, it looks like Dusty will be giving us an encore of the harp music that Fleury played earlier, which will go right along with this Aromas fight.
But yeah, Fleury is going to be taking the exact same tack here. I'm going to be reflecting spells. The Porum and the Palom don't really have... they're not fully leveled because we did a double sling and just left them in like the upper 40s. So we're going to be using Slow here from Porum to nerf the first Big Bang. We're going to be using Rosa White and Radiant Nuke, and Palom probably Ice 3 or Lit 3. I don't know which is faster. It's Lit 3. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, not doing the full nuke damage, but Lit 3, longer cast time, but shorter animation, so probably the best option.
Yeah, and then, Porum does have Cure 4, so Porum becomes your healer just to keep this party taped up, because Rydia's got 1,700 health, and you do want to try and keep everybody alive and intact here, especially Rosa, just to keep this fight going cleanly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Fleury wants to handle the second Big Bang, if he's going to go for a nerf, or if he's just going to try and power through it. I suspect with these health levels, probably going to try and nerf it.
He's a good enough player to pull it off. He is a player of a caliber, and he's not doing quite the damage that Dusty's forecaster lineup was doing. So, I would not be surprised to see the crystal getting thrown at Dustymus here to do a no damage direct attack. Mentioned that Zeromus counters direct attacks, but that attack has to do damage. So by throwing, you can throw an Echo Note, you can throw the crystal. There's a couple of other items that you can throw that will cause the counter to go off, which means that the spell power for Zeromus goes down, and as long as the Big Bang goes off on the next tick, it stays lowered, which, it has the damage of the Big Bang, more or less.
Yeah, I know nerfing Big Bangs is definitely one of my own weaknesses. I've been trying to get better at it, but it's great to see these runners who actually can pull it off at the right times and, when they need them to.
Did cast a direct virus there, though. Fleury went for a direct virus to went with a direct virus there to nerf the Big Bang, which means he's got to have a good sense of the damage that he's done so far. He's got to be taking care of his health, and then gets the nuke bounced off of Rydia, so the counter nuke just hits Zeromus as well, But yeah, it must be that Fleury's taking great pains to make sure he knows that he's above the damage line there to cast that direct virus.
Yeah, it's always great to, when things line up and you get that counter nuke on the wall person.
Right, Big Bang 2 out. We'll see if that was a clean nerf or not. Wow, big numbers. Ooh, the big numbers. That was not nerf.
That was
not only was it... Wow. Ooh, 2Ks all around, everybody. That's the extent of what Big Bang can really do.
Yep, here's the black hole, though. I think Fleury's probably going to be able to recover on this.
Yeah, Rose channeling Cure 4 already. I'm going to Star Veil Cecil here, it looks like, because, what's he doing at this point? So, recovers the fight, basically, immediately, so not a big deal here. And he's got the Nuke Caster and Rydia, he's got the White Caster and Rosa, so he's got the damage output here. Gonna life up Porum as well, just in case, so that she can throw another Cure 4 if necessary.
And the nukes continue. Looks like he has stabilized himself. He's gonna probably need to get a nerf off again here shortly.
Yeah, just gonna keep Cecil about as patched up as possible here, just to make sure, just to see if he can get through this Big Bang anyways. Nuke out here. There's the Cure 4 from Porum for safety's sake here. But a nice 4800 nuke is gonna end this show for Fleury14. GGs are popping up in chat left, right, and center. As Fleury does finish in second place in this race. Get that official time in just a moment. It is 1:45 and 9 seconds.
And GG's Fleury. We'll see about getting him in here for an interview. And we are joined by Fleury14. Fleury, GG's.
Thank you.
So you want the good news or the bad news first?
Oh, there's not that much good news. So I'll take the bad news.
Dusty did none of the things that you did this seed. Dusty faded the harp. Dusty faded the sealed cave. Dusty did Dwarf Castle, but I think you're both looking for characters.
Faded Tower.
Yeah,
didn't do tower. Just went right to the Asura spot.
Yeah, he told me about that as soon as the when we were talking about it after the race room. It was definitely one of the gambles on my part, as far as once I saw Ruby on Ordeals, I knew it was free. But I didn't want given the characters we had, I really wasn't looking forward to doing a level 20 Mac Giant grind. I would have probably had to grab Rydia, get her to stop, and then maybe slingshot from there, do like a 200 times 2 or whatever it would have felt like. It wasn't something I was looking forward to. It was definitely the defining mistake of this seed. But otherwise, like, other than the one mistake that cost me, I thought things went okay as far as like time comparison goes.
I mean, early game, first 30 minutes, clinical, like 3 minutes ahead. Like just like an absolute show of strength in the early game. How do you get so good at the early game?
A whole lot of practice. I've had there's been a lot of seeds lately that has featured twin, like just having the twins available, and I've gotten to the point now where I don't auto take Rosa, because if there's a Palom there and a Porum's available, having that early twin can save you so much early game time that I'm not so sure there's not a case to call Porum really, really good in this flag set.
Oh.
Yay!
Sorry, Baka, wherever you are.
But yeah, a lot of practice is kind of the answer I honestly expected. But again, you made a lot of that seed look really easy. You looked real smooth in routing. You know, your decisions made a lot of sense based on kind of your play style. I know you're a little bit more. Let's go off the beaten track a little bit than a lot of runners, but you do it really well.
Yeah, it was one of those things. I think a lot of us are familiar with how Dusty tends to run things, and if you try to play like Dusty, better than Dusty, I feel like you're just gonna get, well, dusted. Not really gonna work out. I try to kind of go the opposite of the person I'm playing against when it's possible. But it's still like, looking back, when I reviewed his match with Pancraz, and he had the really smart play to get the objective out of the way because he could dart the spoon, like, of course he's gonna cash in the Moonveil and beat elements right away. So I need that to not be Darkness Crystal after the first dead check. And when I get to the second or third, I'm like, well, it kind of has to pay off here. Then a trip to K-Nozzle did not go well. But I guess with like all those checks and being about 12 minutes behind, you know, it doesn't portend badly for the future races.
I mean, if it weren't Kainazo in the Sealed Cave, if you watched the end roll, the Adamant was at the top of Zop.
And I so wanted a Holy Sword too. There was strong consideration, especially when seeing Second Cecil, to dive into Castle Eblin and go Holy Sword hunting.
That's a play that a lot of runners have made in these flags, and it sometimes pays out. Like it's a huge gamble because if you don't get it, yeah, you get a little experience, but like, yeah, like that is the wild play rather than the more straight up play, certain play.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's you to give somebody an extra 3-4 minutes that doesn't pay off is very hard to make up with. Case in point, every overworld check I made.
Well, until you went and did Harp, you and Dusty made all the same checks, and then after Harp, you guys had the Divergence, and then once you did your grind, you guys did everything the exact same way. So,
yeah, it was a tough decision to go whether or not I wanted to do 8x2 and just sling Rydia, or a 12x2 to get Palom up there, and I figured, well, that tower didn't pay off. That K-Nozo trip wasn't fun. Harp was a ninja star. I should probably just get out here as soon as I can.
Well, it's only game one. It's best of 5. You have the next match is scheduled for Friday and Sunday. How are you feeling? Any changes that you're thinking of for game 2?
I don't think so. Just, maybe remind myself, if you can do an objective, you should probably do it. But other than that, like, I lost game 1 in 2 of my 3 sets so far, and this is the 3rd one. So, it's a 5-game series for a reason. So just keep putting in the practice and get ready for next game.
Well, I'm looking forward to the rest of the series and more matches from you. That's all I have for Fleury. Do you have anything else, Demerine?
I'm rooting for you, Fleury. I believe in you.
Oh, thank you. So I'll try to keep repping Porum as best I can.
But yes, thank you again for a great race, and we're looking forward to seeing you out on Friday evening.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys taking the time to do the commentary, the restream, the tracking. This is it's been a long journey, and we're getting near the end of it. So, yeah, appreciate it, guys. Hope you all had fun watching this, and we'll see you all in game 2.
Well, Karma, we did it. We made it.
Game 1 is in the bag.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was a heck of a race, though, wasn't it?
It absolutely was. It lived up to all the hype that was being drummed up for it.
We could have 4 more of these.
That's the dream right now, isn't it? For those of us who didn't pick 3-1 in bracketology, like me.
We're not
already
talk
eliminated.
Talk about our bracket. Let's not. That's just not cool.
I got eliminated, so I won all 5 matches.
I might have finished last. I have to double check. Do you have any final thoughts on this race?
No, we've been saying it the entire tournament. Do your objectives, do your freebies, and I think that was the key to this race, and it'll be interesting to see what gets adjusted for the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree on that front. These runners, they've been playing a long time. Both of them have been here for over 2 years now. So, again, I know Dusty very jokingly, I would love to call him the most predictable man in Free Enterprise, but, maybe he's got a curveball. Maybe he's got something up his sleeve. We shall certainly see. Of course, on behalf of the Restreamed team, we have Oscar424 and the Restreamed Alba doing the tracking, Calamity rolling the seed, Scala providing those beautiful, beautiful sprites. Of course, I'm Demerine2. We're going to head on over. We're going to go bother Invenerable. Invenerable is doing something interesting with Free Enterprise. There is a new BizHawk randomizer that was programmed by Percention. It's not a randomizer like Free Enterprise is a randomizer. What it is, it's a ROM shuffler. Invent's playing 3 seeds at the same time. Probably gonna need some luck. Let's go wish him some luck. Thanks a lot, everybody.
I saw this the other night. It is definitely something to see, so please make sure you're joining us in this raid to check this out.